Hey lovies, welcome back to my channel, Extreme Tarot, where we do moon readings, pick a cards, and zodiac readings. Today we're doing moon reading slash pick a card. We're just looking into an energy, the energy of this coming full moon in Taurus. And we're looking at like the before and after effects because it's eclipse season. This is like a full moon eclipse in Taurus. Like, it's crazy energy, big changes, big energy. So we're gonna look and see how it's gonna be affecting y'all. We're gonna look at the before and after effects. So I have 3 piles for you to choose from: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Pile 1, I have this celestite crystal. Pile 2, I have the black kyanite. Love. And for pile 3, we have this labradorite palm stone. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to pick your pile. Otherwise, I will see you there. Hey lovey, so all of you who chose pile 1 and the celestite, this is going to be your reading to see how you're going to be affected by the eclipse before and after. Let me just like fix this because now it looks all wonky. All right, it's as good as we can get here. And now I just shook the camera. I'm so sorry. All right, whatever. That's as good as it's gonna be. Okay. So let's dive in and take a look at what we have here. I pre-shuffled some cards and we're gonna get some more. So what's like the main theme coming through? We have Pluto transformation. Okay. And then the before energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Addict energy. I'm just gonna put this like this. Okay. And then for the after energy, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Liberator energy. Okay. All right, guys, let's see. So what are we seeing here? So right away, I feel like you could be like heavily affected by these energies. You might have some, because Pluto rules Scorpio. It's one of the rulers of Scorpio. So I feel like this eclipse could be affecting you like on a deep level here with Pluto. It could be like a major sort of transformation. This could be, I feel like it's about personal transformation. This is a number 11, which is like the number 1 2 times. So I feel like you're sort of mastering being able to move through these transformational periods more easily, especially if you have, I feel like with the Pluto energy being here, you could possibly have a North Node in Scorpio, because I feel like you're somebody, and you don't have to, but you could be feeling this eclipse is on like the Scorpio Taurus axis. So you don't have to have that placement, but if you do, like, you could definitely like have picked this pile. But I feel like you're somebody that has like resisted change. I don't think change is something that's very easy for you. With the Addict energy, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. And I feel like learning how to like sort of take possession and have control over your inner spirit is something that you struggle with. With the Addict energy, you actually could have an addiction, of course, that goes without saying, but it could also be speaking of just like something else having like control over your life instead of yourself, like whether it be like outside people sort of influencing you, with this Jupiter, like Wheel of Fortune energy, it could be like inheritance and things like that. That's kind of shaping your decisions and choices, like something about family money, something like that, like some sort of like outside power having influence on like the type of person that you want to be. And I feel like this is something like you could come from money. You don't have to, but that's like one scenario that could be where like you come from money and you've kind of never really had to dig deep to go through like a transformational process because maybe you didn't have the same sorts of obstacles as everybody else, and because you kind of were materially provided for, so you didn't have that like inner drive of like transformation or something like that, or if you were like numbing out with drugs or drinking or something like that. But it's like now this is you wanting to take a more like active role in your like decisions and your choices and your life. So I feel like also what I'm getting here with the Wheel of Fortune is that you could have left a lot of things up to fate, a lot of things up to like divine timing, things like that. Like, oh, like it'll happen in the right time, but at the same time, like not really doing anything yourself to change it, just kind of leaving it up to fate, but like nothing happening. Does that make sense? Like sort of like a passive energy. And then we're moving over here to this Liberator and Knight of Pentacles energy. Like the Knight of Pentacles knows like they have to put in like slow, steady work. Like you might not have like results overnight, but like making those changes, which I think would honestly go along very well with, especially if you have the Taurus South Node and the Scorpio North Node, like go along very well with your natural inclinations, because like your comfort zone is like Taurian things. Like it's a fixed axis, it's a fixed energy, it's a fixed earth energy. And like a Knight of Pentacles kind of reminds me of that because it's such a slow moving like card, like it's such a slow moving energy. And that's something where I think you feel comfortable with. You're not like comfortable with like sudden change and unexpected things. You're comfortable with like patterns, like routines. Slow and steady gets the job done, like things like that. That's probably something that you're very familiar with. So the same goes even for your personal transformation, like putting in and taking these little practical steps, like sort of like after the eclipse. I feel like you'll have more energy to do that. You'll want to like liberate yourself from this stuck energy that I feel like you've been in. I feel like emotions were trying to come in and you're maybe even trying to come up during the course of this eclipse season, that you could have like really resisted at first, but you realize that like in facing them, or in facing sort of all the things that you've been avoiding, whether that be like an addiction that you've kind of just been like whatever, maybe you're like what do they call it, like a functioning alcoholic, say. So it's not like you're, living on the streets stealing people's TVs to like, support yourself like in your habit here, but you're not happy at the same time. Like you're numbed out. Your life isn't really going anywhere. Like this wheel isn't really in motion. It's like stuck waiting for you to make a move. And something that you might be realizing is sort of that like divine timing, not that divine timing is a myth, but that we actually have more control and power over divine timing than we think. Because you know how people always say like, oh, like everyone's energy is connected and it's all connected to spirit, and like there is like divinity within all of us. It's like, if that's the case, like we should have, that's like a theory that I have, that we really do have the ability to like speed up divine timing or slow it down. Like we have a role in it. And that's why they always say, I think, co-creating with the universe, because like you make a move and then spirit makes a move. But you have to like make the move. And I don't think that's something you've been willing to do, but you're starting to get to the point where like during the course of this transformation where you're realizing that you actually do hold more power than you think, and that it's like these little daily, I want to say rituals, but daily habits, whatever it is, like decisions that you make on a daily basis and the actions that you take on a daily basis that are actually going to be the thing that starts like kind of turning this wheel, moving you forward, building up your self-esteem, I just wanted to say. because a lot of times when we're not taking care of business, not taking care of things that we feel that we should take, which I think these kind of thoughts and feelings are what have been like bubbling up for you, and you're just like trying to ignore it. Maybe when you start actually taking these little steps, it's like you start to feel more in control of your life, which is like what Pluto energy, like Scorpio energy, is all about, like having like that control over yourself, and then it starts to like spread to the outside kind of. So okay, let's get some more cards and see what can pile one expect from this eclipse. All right. Patience. I feel like this is like that before energy. I'll put this like right here. And what else? Man holding a coin. Yeah, and this is like the after energy. 2 sevens. Again, sevens are all about the self. And again, oh, we have the 7th chakra here too as well. So again, I feel like this is sort of just like reiterating the message. I just want to make sure you can see these cards. I don't have to move them. It's kind of like reiterating the message of just kind of like waiting around for things to change. And then with the man holding a coin, it's a very similar energy. Like it's almost like the King of Pentacles, even though it's like we have the Knight of Pentacles here. It's about, and the King of Pentacles, I think, is that Taurus energy? It could be. I'm not really sure. But it's definitely, it could be like related to Taurus energy. So it is a similar energy, even if it's not actually like supposed to be Taurus. But yeah, I feel like this is about you taking control of your finances, maybe, because we had 2 Pentacles cards come out, and Jupiter energy. Oh yeah, Jupiter. So that's like, I just got deja vu. Anyway, so yeah, Jupiter energy is also can speak to your finances, luck, and it's like almost like having that realization that like you create your own luck kind of a thing. You know, like when you start like getting in the game here, like you'll start to see like results, like you'll start to see spirit stepping in. You don't have to wait. But when you're just stuck in a passive, inactive energy, like things aren't going to be moving, and you could be feeling frustrated, or could have been feeling frustrated, and you're finally going to start to realize that like nobody can fix this. Like spirit isn't going to swoop in and just like wave a magic wand and fix things for you. Like, what's that quote? God helps those who help themselves. It's like something that you're realizing, and that like you don't even have to have it all figured out. You just have to start taking certain steps, like in order to start moving yourself forward and seeing some like tangible results. So let's see what else we have. What's coming through with this full moon for pile 1? Oh, that fell on the floor. We have the Great Mother, surrender to the mystery, fall into her arms. And what else? The Child Within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. So we have 2 cards speaking about mother energy, and then we also have like the Great Mother, the Child Within. So there's some sort of like mother-child energy. So this could be maybe like a month, like a moon cycle that kind of like, wasn't I saying something about like family money or something like that, where it's like you start to like wanna grow, either grow up literally, or just like grow beyond. One example is like needing your mother's approval, or just finally like cutting the apron strings, or like getting your own place, or like moving out of your house, like, you know, stuff like that, where I'm sensing that your identity is like tied to like either like a family, like a parental unit, even if it's just in the form with Pluto here of like issues like from your childhood, or it's like a literal, like with the Taurus energy, like money and things like that. And realizing that I think that you're a lot more capable than you think you are. And yeah, with that whole liberator energy, it's like starting to sort of like make plans to sort of step out into the world on your own, with this whole mother-child dynamic being here. Maybe going for a sense of like independence, Because with addict energy, that is like a codependent energy, that is being dependent on other things for your own, I guess, survival or peace of mind and things like that. And then we're moving into more of an energy of like realizing that you can do it on your own, and you actually do have the strength and you do have the smart and the capabilities to do that. So, okay, let's just get you some affirmations and then we will close out the reading. But yes, this is definitely a very self-focused energy here. This is all about your personal transformation. The Liberator card talks about freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs and releasing negative thought patterns. So again, like whether that be like codependent tendencies, addiction, I don't know, anything else, anything like that. And then even with Jupiter, like almost like leaving your fate in the hands of someone else and then like taking back control of your life again. You know, it's something like that. All right, what affirmations does pile one most need right now? I do not feel guilty for letting go of what no longer serves me. Okay, I'm just gonna get 3. What else for pile 1? Ooh. I must jump first. I know the universe will catch me. And finally, what do we got for pile 1? Ooh. Okay, we have 2. I know growth is often disguised as discomfort. Yeah, there's a lot of growth going on right now. And especially if you have been using something as sort of like a crutch here and you're trying to like let it go, you could be going through like a rough time right now. And then we have, I am more than enough. Back of the deck, the only approval I need is my own. Yeah, there's like something about that, about realizing that you don't need other people to either validate you or like ease the pain or like help you figure things out, like you're fully capable. And like also your crystal was celestite, which is kind of like a card of dreamland, dreams. So it's like I feel like that's like you've had a lot of like dreams and visions, but like you weren't taking action on them. And like I feel like that's something else that this, like, I must jump first. I know the universe will catch me. Again, we were talking about like that idea of co-creation with the universe. And how if you, I want to get some more advice too. I have my other advice cards, but it's like I have this one card in this deck. That's just what made me think of it. That's like, oh, what does it say? If you stay in dreamland too long, like your dreams will stay right up there with you or something like that. But it's like, that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting from the celestite, because it's like a card of dreaming, but it's like your dreams won't become reality unless you get in this Knight of Pentacles energy and start like taking steps. Let's just get you like 3. All right, let's like go one at a time. Okay, thought, why do we feel mad and disgusted with ourselves when we fail? Stupid for trying, we should stop. Maybe that's something that has like kept you from trying to even try. Trust the strange and mysterious at this time. But again, I feel like you could be a very practical person. And like the Scorpio energy is something that you're just automatically like shrinking away from. So I think it's saying right now to like sort of start trying to like embrace this energy. Your shitty circumstances aren't an excuse to be a shitty person. Choose growth. Like whatever excuses you're making to sort of like, or you have been making, I think you're finally like facing them. Oh, that's too many. Just one more, please. Please, just one. Okay. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah, we have all like heart chakra cards. And then look, don't live the same year 100 times and call it a life. Like gear up for some new experiences and things like that, because that is what your soul, I think, is like, and what spirit is like hoping happens during the course of this eclipse. So hopefully that reading helped you guys get some clarity and understand things a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Obviously, if you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next one. And I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, okay? Thank you guys. Bye. Hey lovey, so if you guys chose pile 2 and the blue, not blue, black kyanite, ooh, this is going to be your reading to see what is going to happen kind of like before and after this eclipse, like what energies you can expect to be like coming in and what energies you could expect to be going. So let's see what we have here. The main theme is Mercury mind. Okay. Then we have the Queen of Cups. And let me just like the healer energy here. Okay. Let's do this first. Then we have the hero, heroine energy is the energy that's like after the eclipse. This was before, I didn't say that, sorry. And the Empress, beautiful. So we have that Taurus energy coming through. We have kind of like the water, earth dynamic here. So let's see what is going to be going on for you guys with this eclipse. So I feel like what's happening here is that, well, first of all, we have Mercury, the mind. I feel like you're going to start taking a more logical approach to things and going more based on, I don't want to say reality, but like you're going to be judging things based on more tangible results than how you feel. I feel like there's a strong shift from trying to like heal other people into starting to like show up for yourself instead, and treat yourself in a way like and value yourself in a way that I don't think you have been doing in the past. I feel like you've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I feel like you were very much ruled by your emotions and your compassionate nature with the healer and the Queen of Cups coming out. Passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to transform pain into healing. And then the shadow side is taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. I feel like you've had a tough time like caring for yourself in the same way that you would care about others. I'm kind of getting the vibe of that song, what is it, If I Were a Boy, when it's like that whole role reversal thing, when she's like talking about like all the things she would do if she was a guy, and the part where she's like, I'd put myself first, like meaning, and I think that like even not only just women, but like, you know, more compassionate people like have a tendency to do that. Like they have the tendency to put someone else's needs above their own because they are so compassionate and, oh, if that was me, like how would that feel, and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times they're dealing with somebody that isn't necessarily reciprocating that energy back to them. So we're like expending a lot of our emotional heart energy on somebody that isn't really, look at this picture. Okay, Quinn, hello. Hello, Quinn. In this energy, it's this person is receiving, this person is giving, and they're just sitting there taking it, you know? And this person isn't really getting anything back. Not that, and the same thing here. This queen is extending her cup out, sitting on a glacier, being cold, not really getting anything in return. And it's almost like your mind is like holding up this picture for you to see. See how he's like holding the globe like right here? That's just making me think of like, hey, like let's take a look at reality. This is like what's really going on is that you're like depleted and left out in the cold, and you don't have the energy for your own life because you're expending it on taking care of other people. Let me move this so you can see it. But then that is where the shift is occurring in your mind, where it's like I'm getting almost like an epiphany where it's like, hey, like, you know what, that's actually like a good observation there, mind. Like I am kind of like overextended. It's like the relationship of give and take, which is like a theme I've been seeing coming up in my readings. But even like mental energy and emotional energy, even if you're not physically giving like gifts and like money and things like that, like you're expending your energy like worrying about somebody else's well-being. And even though you're sitting on this cold glacier, it's like I'm seeing this shift as like this mermaid like diving in, swimming over here onto dry land, and just like bathing out in the sun, eating her fruit, keeping, you know, her luxuries for herself. That almost looks like, that reminds me of like when you like fan like a Greek goddess or something. Like being like the hero or heroine of your own life, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Personal empowerment. This is you taking your power back. I wouldn't even say from another person, but from yourself, that you've been like willingly giving it away. I don't feel like anyone is like taking it from you. I mean, that could be the case, I guess, but this person is like willingly like focusing all their energy on this other person. Maybe trying to change somebody's mind just with the way that it's like centered on the head right there, and we have this mind energy. And then it's like almost realizing like, you know what? I don't care. Even if this other person has to struggle a little bit, like, they're on their own journey and so am I. Like, I have to take care of myself. This is a very, we have a 3 here and a 3 here. So we have like that Empress energy coming through twice. And the fact that we have the Queen of Cups, I think you're going to really shift your focus into like being in a more receptive energy where you're open to receiving instead of just giving, maybe even like exclusively open to receiving. Like, I'm just going to sit back and chill and let things come to me that want to come to me. I am going to put in the work behind the scenes of what I need to do to heal myself and move my life forward and things like that, climb my own mountains here. But like, I'm not like running around and like boosting this person up. I'm going to stay on my side and like climb my own mountain, like whatever that means to you. So let's see what else, what other themes are coming through. Ooh. With this eclipse for you guys. Let's get a before and after. Before we have strategy, and after, ooh, yay, Archangel Raphael. I love when he shows up. Hello. We have Archangel Raphael, 4th chakra, heart chakra. So, okay, and then we have the door to spirit. We have another 3 here with the 21 reduces to a 3. So going from strategy to like a heart-centered energy, I feel like I was saying, how you were maybe trying to like change somebody's mind. This is going from like a masculine energy, which is an energy that pushes things, that forces things, that tries to like assert its will, that tries to even control things, figure things out. It's a very masculine energy. And I feel like you are going to be shifting out of this into, like I was saying, a more heart-centered, a more nurturing and receptive energy where if you're not happy, like, that's it. Like, you're not going to be strategizing and trying to figure out, oh, why is this person, you know, not giving back to me? You're just like, you know what? I'm just going to like pull back and focus on myself and love myself for right now. We also had door to spirit on the bottom of the deck here. And, oh, door to value right there. So it's like maybe that, and that is like a very earth energy. The door to value, it's like, did I say door to value? Yeah, door to value. It's like you're like realizing your own value, like in your mind, and realizing that anyone that you have to strategize to like convince, I guess, to like show up for you and be there for you isn't somebody worth having in your life. And you're really examining like the way that you give and take and strategize and almost like try to make things easier for people. Meanwhile, like no one's trying to make things easier for you. And you're like, like maybe this energy would be better spent just taking care of me for a little bit. And I feel like you're just like really like ready to shift into that energy. So let's see what else we have. But even taking the time to do some like heart healing could be indicated, or even just like kind of like trying to find your joy in life and doing like a lot of things you like to do just to kind of keep your heart content and level instead of like focusing on other people, just sitting back, like sinking into like the sensuality of your own life, taking nice baths, like swathing yourself in nice fluffy blankets. Like, I know that sounds silly, but like just getting like really cozy and like sinking into the sensuality, like with food, things like that. Just really like maybe like making yourself a nice dinner and just, you know, little self-care things like that. Sorry, I wasn't asking a question. Let's do before and after. Before and after for pile 2. We have Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes, and after. The reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship. Okay, so I feel like what I'm seeing here is that with this Temple of the Rose, Ancient Power, Expression, Activation, Scarlet Codes, that's like red, expression, activation, that's a very masculine energy. And I feel like, again, that's like going well with the strategy energy here. It's, sorry, I just like blinked out for a second, but yeah, it's just, again, like reiterating the message. And then with the reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, friendship, I feel like you could be really trying to decide who and what you want in your life. Soul recognition, like only people that resonate with my soul, like only people that are partners, because this is partnership, like just having like a love interest in your life does not make them a partner. That's something that you're realizing. Like if it's just like one person doing all the work and one person being more passive, and this has activation, that's making me think you were the more active one. And also this whole spread that we've done thus far. And then it's like taking a minute to sort of like sink in and tune in and realize that true partners, true friendships, true even business partners, that says like collaboration, like the people that you surround yourself with, I think you're really assessing those relationships, because we have 3 people here, 3 people here. That's like the energy of the group. We had all these 3s. I think you're really doing an assessment of all the relationships that you have in your life. And because there's like 2 people on this card, 2 people, this is really like you're really examining like the relationship of give and take. What do you get out of the relationship? What do you want to give? Is it really important to take a stand in this situation? Like, for example, if you have like a coworker that's difficult to work with, that's always negative or always putting you down and stuff like that, do you want to like take a stand, strategize like on how like you can like either get revenge or like show them, or are you going to decide like you don't really care, you just want to like go to work, make your money and go home? It's not even worth the effort with this person. I don't even have to expend my mental energy. Even could be like situations like that. If it's not like a romantic relationship, you could be examining your friendships. You know, what am I getting out of this friendship? What am I giving? Like, should I pull back a little bit? Have I been lacking and not giving enough? Like, I feel like you're really like assessing things like that. That's like a big theme for you guys here. Also noticing a lot like the way that people communicate with you, because we have expression here, and just like deeming that worthy or unworthy of your time to continue communicating with these people, because Mercury is about communication as well. So let's get some affirmations for you guys. We'll get 3. Okay, we have 2 here. I am not afraid to step into the edges of my comfort zone. And I think it is very uncomfortable for you to not be in this caring Queen of Cups energy and to be in a more like badass, receptive energy. My soul is infinite and divine. You're starting to really recognize like the worth, the inherent worth you have just for being you and just for existing, and that you don't need to prove anything. I feel like that's another thing. You always try to prove your worth to people, and you're like, you know what? I am worthy. I don't need to prove anything. I'm getting a vibe like that. I know my worth and I do not settle for less. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I feel like that is the vibe. Like, and I'm allowed to say no. Like, you're really like thinking about putting up boundaries. I don't even think just thinking about it. Especially with this crystal that you chose, it's like the black kyanite. It reminds me of like the Iron Throne from Game of Thrones and Cersei, kind of. And you know, she is a badass bitch. And I mean, she's also like evil, but I love Cersei. I wish she would have won the Iron Throne. But anyway, I'm just thinking about that conversation she had with King Robert when he was like telling her basically that he never really had feelings for her. And he's like, how does that make you feel? Because she was like, was there ever a chance? Was there ever a moment that, you know, you did have feelings for me or whatever? And he was just like, no, like, and he's like, how does that make you feel? And she's like, I don't feel anything at all. I feel like you're like learning to detach from situations that used to make you like really upset. And it's because you're like, you know what? This shit is like, I'm above this shit. Like, I don't even need to care about this stuff anymore. Kind of like a vibe. I've moved beyond it. Okay. Oh, sorry. What is the advice for my pile twos? charm and the promise of delight will draw people like moths to a flame. That's kind of that vibe I was getting, like where I was saying, like if at work or you have like a everyday situation where you deal with like a difficult person, but they're really not like someone that you even want to bother hashing it out with. Like there's just no talking to them. Just be pleasant and blah, 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 like kind of detach from it, and just go about your day. Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the logical mind can't. You must focus on yourself, feel as good as you can, and make the relationship with yourself a priority. Do this and everything else will fall into place. I think that is exactly what you're doing with this whole like worth energy that I'm getting. I feel like that should be like that. Okay, so we can see them all. Your shitty circumstances aren't an excuse to be a shitty person. Choose growth. And on the back of the deck, thought, why do we feel mad and disgusted with ourselves when we fail? Stupid for trying. We should stop. I feel like you are stopping like any sort of negative self-talk, and you're just sort of accepting yourself the way you are, trying to grow in any difficult situations, and just like realizing sometimes things aren't worth the fight, and that you don't need to heal or help everybody else. You could just kind of like ignore them and keep it moving. So, okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. And thank you to everybody that already has. I really appreciate you guys, and it like means a lot to me if you took the time to show me some love. Also, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. And I'll catch you in the next reading, okay guys? Bye! Hey lovies, so if you chose pile 3 and the labradorite crystal, this is going to be your reading to see what this eclipse, how this eclipse in Taurus, full moon in Taurus, will affect you before and after. So the main theme coming through here is the air element, communication. Okay, communicating, so that's actually number 39. Just gonna do it like this. The before energy that you have is this child wounded energy, as well as the Page of Swords. And the after energy is this Midas miser energy, as well as the 9 of Pentacles. I'm getting a very similar vibe to pile 2, if I must say. We had Mercury energy here and sort of like a healing energy, and then like the Empress over here. So I feel like it's sort of a similar energy where you're deciding that you're sending a message by your actions. I feel like that's what I'm getting. Like you're almost realizing that like the way you're acting sends a message to people. I feel like something that you're realizing is that your past has contributed to a lot of your current habits or your current ways of like relating to other people. The light attribute of the child wounded awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. And then the shadow is blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So I feel like that in conjunction with the Princess of Swords or the Page of Swords, I think you're starting to realize that you can look back on the past and like sort of tell yourself a different story. I also feel like with the air element, it has a lot to do with again, the way you like communicate with yourself. I feel like you're really working on that, like whether directly or indirectly. You're learning to sort of look back on the past with the Princess of Swords here and realize that even if you weren't taken care of in the way that you really needed when you were younger, and even if that theme has played out, it's ultimately your responsibility to sort of like break the cycle as you get older. Like there comes a point, it doesn't matter, like I don't want to say it doesn't matter whatever background you have, because I'm sure there's like, if you ever read A Child Called It, I mean that's just like there's some truly horrendous things out there that could happen to people. But so I'm not saying it like that, oh, like you deserved to be like wounded when you were a child or anything, it was your responsibility. I don't mean it like that, because then at that point you're in the care of your caretakers and your guardians or your parents or whoever it is, and they are supposed to protect you and nurture you and treat you well. But if this is a pattern that has gone on, I feel like you've recently spent a lot of time in the recent past, or even just in your past in general, maybe like advocating for yourself again, like maybe like rehashing your wounds to the people that like wounded you. For example, if it was like a parent, like arguing with that parent, well, you did this to me, and like da 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 da, and like not being able to move on through forgiveness or something like that, where you were like holding on to the resentment towards other people, and it was like affecting you in a negative way, where it was like stunting your communication or stunting your ability for growth. The Princess of Swords is like the Page of Swords, so it can be like sort of like a bitter energy. It's like thinking and communicating in a more like the Page of Swords is suspicious, and it's like almost realizing that well, I think in the past energy it was just being in that suspicious energy, but moving over here it's like realizing that you don't need to be so suspicious. Like you can have boundaries, you can have standards for people to treat you a certain way in your life, and if they don't, you can sort of cut your losses and move on and like claim your independence. Like you don't have to like revert back to this like child wounded energy where you sort of like end up feeling bad for yourself or feeling like a victim, blaming other people for your problems. Like you can just be like, oh, like I see a red flag here, this person is, you know, doesn't have the best intentions or doesn't have the capacity to treat me well, so I am just going to kind of like take my energy and keep it moving. Or like the opposite, like where you're like, oh, you know what, like this person that I'm dealing with, really, I can tell they have good intentions and they are a good person, so I'm going to try to open up myself more and like become, even if it's just a friendship or something like that, and allow them into my life and, you know, share what I have with them because they deserve it, because they're a good person too. Like kind of looking at that balance of, I really wanted to say like emotional currency, and realizing that you don't have to, there is no like one size fits all strategy here. It's like you need to like use discernment to pick and choose like who you allow into your life, and that ultimately is up to you at a certain point. And you do have the smarts and you do have the knowledge gleaned from your wounded past here in order to like suss out who is a worthy character, friend, lover, whatever to have in your life, and who is not. Like trust your discernment. That's what you're learning to do, I would say, in this during the course of this eclipse. You're recognizing your own value. That's something very apparent, and really claiming your independence, maybe even your financial independence. You could be you could have almost like developed a lot of dysfunctional habits as a result of this, like these issues from the past, relating to money specifically, that we have a Pentacles card and the Midas Miser card, where maybe it says hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. It's sort of like made you develop this lack mentality that kind of translated to your finances, if that makes sense. Like you don't deserve riches, so you don't deserve love. You didn't deserve love when you were younger. You don't deserve riches now. You don't deserve anything. And you're starting to sort of change those beliefs. Like I was saying, like the currency of or the way you communicate with yourself as well is being highlighted here. So I feel like you're starting to like turn these beliefs on their head and examine them. Something that I realized, this is like a stupid example, but I was like hanging out with my 3 BFFs. I love you guys. I don't know when it was, like a couple weeks ago, like a week ago. I went to like my best friend's house, and like the 3 of them were there, and one of my friends said something like, I forget what it was exactly, but like indicated that like, oh, like I'm so glad, like I didn't miss you like before I came over, or I forget what it was, but it was something like complimentary that like, oh, he likes when I come over, like likes to see me or something. And this is what I'm saying about like this subconscious belief that I didn't even realize I had, but I just like noticed that when he said that, I was like shocked. And I realized, like, I was thinking about it later when I got home, and I'm like, why was I, like, shocked? Like, I'm sitting here calling him my best friend, one of my best friends, and I'm like, why am I, like, surprised that he likes hanging out with me? And I realized, like, I have this belief that, like, this is so stupid, but, like, that the three of them are really, like, best friends, and I'm just, like, their charity friend that they, like, hang out with. Like, I just, like, and it's not even something that I think about, like, consciously, like, oh, I'm just their charity friend. But I realize, like, I kind of have that belief, like, oh, they just feel bad for me, so they, like, hang out for me, almost like it's charity. Yeah, like, and then I'm like, okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, why do I think that? And I just started, like, just, like, realizing that I'm noticing where else I sort of have these same beliefs, that people are just friends with me out of pity and things like that. So I don't know, like, I feel like if you had that sort of anything, it could be anything, but, like, that's something that I notice. Like, notice, like, the little things about the way you communicate with yourself. Like, notice your reactions when people say nice things to you. Like, are you genuinely shocked? Like, oh my God, like, why would you even think that? Because that's showing, like, you have a sort of, like, distorted view of your own value. And I know that's, like, a silly example, but I just thought that was, like, kind of funny, like, in a way. Like, I'm just like, I cannot believe, like, I would think that about myself. Like, why would I think they're friends with me out of charity? Like, we have a great time when we hang out, but it was in there, you know? So, okay, so let's look at the before and after. Let's get deeper into this. Before and after for pile 3. We have the thinking man. And the after energy is the door to spirit. I love this. So, and then the door to value on the bottom of the deck. What was that? I think I had both of these cards, like, on the back of the deck in the last pile. So, the thinking man and the door to spirit, where it's almost like doing less and gaining more. We have a 10 going to a 5 here. That's making me think of, like, expending a lot of mental energy, either worrying. This is, like, the past energy, like the thinking man, like, not being able to stop thinking. And then transitioning to this door to spirit energy, where it's like this little dove is like, come in here, it's nice and peaceful, just, like, letting go, letting God, like, trusting yourself to, like, again, be able to discern, and not having to, like, overanalyze and keep yourself up at night and worry and be suspicious. I am getting the shadow side of this thinking man energy. So anxiety, distorted thoughts, like suspicion, like I was saying, and then, like, kind of moving into a more peaceful energy and trusting, like I was saying, like, spirit, which to me means trusting yourself, to be able to discern and, like, what is good and what is right for you and what is not. My dogs might start barking. I feel like I hear noises outside. Let's get before and after. We have the bloom, creations realized, right time, harvest, celebrate, and morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, and a positive outlook. So creations realized, right time, harvest, celebrate, morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. I feel like these are, like, very similar energies, and that's telling me that a lot of what is going to be happening, the transition, is more in an inner mental, I guess, or maybe even, like, I would say mental with what I have here. Not necessarily emotional, but it's like things really are good around you, and they have been in the past. It's just, like, what's changing is the way you think and view them. It's not so much like an outer change, like you're gonna have some huge changes at your job or in your relationships or anything like that. It's more so just like a more inner, and you're gonna continue to, you could have had some, like, successes in the past and almost been, like, again, like, very surprised by them or something like that, and you're, like, waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it's like you're instead gonna be, during the course of this eclipse, like, tuning into an even more positive energy. Leo, it's okay. And just kind of, like, continuing to on this journey of, like, positivity and, like, the way you, like, the story that you tell yourself and things like that. You're gonna start having a more positive approach to it. Even though I think things were being positive, things were moving in a positive direction. Like, you're gonna start being more and more positive as you go, and believing in yourself more. Okay, so what are your affirmations here? Oh my God, I am so sorry. I edited out a lot of that because someone knocked on my door and forgot about it. My dogs went crazy, then they knocked again, and so annoying. So I already like was talking about these, so I'm just gonna start over. Sorry. I'm like so stressed out right now. Today, caring for my energy is my first priority. I am already abundant beyond measure. The only approval I need is my own. I trust the universe is always 10 steps ahead of me. So this is like really learning to like trust in yourself, trust in the universe, putting yourself first, and not needing other people's validation. And like I was saying, with I am already abundant beyond measure, I feel like things have been going well for you. And you have been in like good situations. And like I was saying, it's just like sort of a continuation when we get to this morning dew. Is like a similar sort of an energy that I'm like seeing here. Where you trust yourself. And you're not afraid to sort of like be on your own. Like you're really detaching from, what's the word? Like the need to like, for whatever you're trying to manifest. And that's why you are manifesting it. You're just like doing it. You're doing things from a place of like, I love doing this. And even if other people, like say you're like on social media or something, like say even if other people aren't liking my content, I don't care, because I'm just doing it for myself, because I love being myself and doing what I do, whatever it is. And it's almost like, yeah, like you're finding that value within yourself, even if other people don't validate you back, you know, and like with likes or comments or follows on Instagram or like whatever it is, like you don't, that if you, even if you get that, it's a bonus, but you don't need it in order to like continue and feel like, what's the word? Fulfilled by what you're doing, if that makes sense. And that's like the key that will sort of like make that stuff even happen even more, you know? So sorry, let me just like calm down for a second. Okay, what is the advice for pile 3? Ooh, is that 4? We'll take them. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take the next step. Be a savage self-lover, and anyone that don't like it can fuck off. Pray to be as pretty on the outside as you are on the inside. It keeps you accountable, and when an opportunity presents, don't hesitate to seize it. And what makes you feel most alive, choose it. Leo. All right, we're gonna close out this reading. Leo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leo, come here and stop it right now. So, okay, sorry guys, we're ending it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.